Okay, guys, so we're back for another episode of Final Fantasy VII. Now, let's see. Uh, the one thing that still amazes me about this game, besides what great story it has and everything, um, it still has a fucking amazing soundtrack, even for the PS1 era. Now, there are games that still have an amazing soundtrack, even to this day, from like the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Now, if you guys are always wondering why do I reference this Nintendo and Super Nintendo? Now, when I was younger, I grew up with a Nintendo, which I don't have anymore, unfortunately. But I finally got a hold of one last year, again. Well, I didn't. I could have picked up one sooner, but I just didn't have the real want to pick up another one. I always kind of wanted to go back to picking up a Super Nintendo that worked, but for some reason I could never find one that worked. Till recently, I ended up picking up one from my friend. But yeah, so you actually can. You don't go. Wait, do you go back through? Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about saving because I just saved. But yeah. So, yeah, I grew up with the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. Now, okay, I don't feel like fighting this one. Actually, back when I was younger, I think I actually owned Chrono Trigger. I know for a fact I owned Final Fantasy Mystic Quest 2 and 3. Which, if you have them for the original Super Nintendo, be thankful, because they're not cheap. They're not exactly cheap games anymore. They're still like anywhere from 30 plus, except for Mystic Quest, which is about 5 to 10, depending on who you go to. But yeah, I would still go through and play Mystic Quest. Now, I'm not going to actually play any of these Final Fantasies until I've taken care of 9, well, possibly taken care of 9 and 7, but until I can figure it out on the, if I can record with the HD PVR, or I'm going to end up buying a Dazzle. Now, if I buy a Dazzle, I'll be actually playing probably some of the older games, like the original Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt kind of games, the original Nintendo, older consoles, and yeah, I'll have to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna do it all, but with me moving, more likely within the next like I should be moving in the next 6 months, I should be able to figure it out. Okay, yeah, that's what we do. That's what I was thinking. The GameCube shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I could play it with the Wii, but I'd rather play the GameCube with the GameCube. Okay. Damn. That's just me talking, though. But yeah, honestly, I love Nintendo's consoles. I prefer Sony over Nintendo. I'm a Sony fanboy. Boo-hoo if you don't like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Basically, it started off, we have Atari, which I never owned until this past year. I never played it. So, it's not one of those things that, oh, I remember this game back in my childhood. It was a great game back in the day. It's not, I can't do that with Atari. I can do that as far back as the Nintendo. And nothing prior. The Nintendo still, it's gonna always hold a place in my heart. Same thing with the Super Nintendo. Now, the Super Nintendo had, honestly, some of the best games I've ever played. One good example, besides any of the Final Fantasies, Hello, I love Final Fantasy. I'm a Final Fantasy guy. Is one of the only Nintendo Square Enix projects that I know of. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by that, I mean like an actual, like, Square Enix got the licensing to use by, oh my god, I hate this part. Either you get it or you don't. Square Enix actually got the licensing to use Mario. No. Too early. Too early! I either do it too early. I always suck at this. And I'm getting closer. That was close. There it goes. I actually spent like like an hour on this part because I could just not get the timing right. So this is just a little bit. So yeah, if you're wondering, the game was Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Now I've gone through and I've beaten the game. I recently went through. I haven't actually had the time to go back yet, but I went through and I ended up beating the game. Actually, back when I was younger, multiple times. This was one of those games that I still love to play. And yeah, honestly, I need to get another copy of the game. The label on it's damaged, so it's good with what I've got for now, but I want it mint. I want the label mint because I'm not going to go back through and I've decided I'm not going to worry about anything prior, like the PS1 complete in box. Let's see. Like, I won't buy PS1 games if they don't have the manual, unless it's one of those games that I might go through, I might not find again without spending cash. Like, well, serious cash. Because there are quite a few $50 to $75 games that I want to go back through and buy again. The Lunar Saga series, which I own a Japanese copy of on the Saturn. Yeah, I have a Japanese Saturn. I want to go through and play it, but I can't. Well, I can, but because it's in Japanese, I don't. I remember the story being really amazing, but yeah. Unfortunately, this is one of those games I know I'm not going to find at a yard sale. I'm going to have to pay not top dollar, but I'm going to have to pay a good chunk of cash for. But yeah. There's a lot of games I want to try, but I'm never going to have time to actually try them all. Eventually, I'm going to get to that point where it's like, I'm going to really have to start picking and choosing. What games do I want to play? And we got a boss. This is what I was saving it for. Because this guy is an ass. He's weak against thunder. And yep. Damn it. You gotta get the, yeah. Trust me, I haven't done her limit break in forever. And hello. 3 limit breaks right after another. God damn. This is why limit breaks own. Take a look how much damage they end up doing. So I think I'll go through and have Barrett heal Tifa and himself right now. So yeah, this game's still a hell of a lot of fun. I just wish the game was, well, the game's actually pretty easy to find. I ended up finding a black copy for $3. Now I had to go through and replace the game cover itself. Was that it? I remember the battle being longer. But yeah. Okay, that's actually a really useful item right now. But yeah. The game, I always thought it was longer. Now, I actually need to do a review on a game that I picked up a long time ago. I started to play it. I didn't like it. It doesn't matter what you say here, unfortunately. It ends up being the same shit anyways. Oh no, we're gonna lose Cloud. Now, you gotta remember, guys, these graphics and everything, this was very early in the PS1 lifestyle. PS1 came out in 95. This was 97, so it was only 2 years in. And just look, if you mention what game should you pick up on the PS1, this will be in the top 10. This will be in one of the top 10 lists guaranteed. Because this game made RPGs to where they're at today. As far as I'm concerned, there hasn't been any, well, I still think Final Fantasy 9 and 6 are better in my opinion, but this game there hasn't been any other game I can think of that has influenced the RPG community in the US as much as this game, because this is one of those games that it's actually really easy to find, but it's worth some cash if you got the time and money. But yeah. So now we're in Sector 5, and this is that flower girl. But yeah. Now, I really can't think of too many RPGs that have influenced the gaming community like this. Now, I know for those people who played Panzer Dragoon, I think it's Saga, which is on the Saturn, which was basically Sega's answer to the PlayStation until they got the Dreamcast in 2000, which honestly the Dreamcast would have been the answer to the Saturn. Not the Saturn, the PS1. Unfortunately. But that's just life. Yeah. Yep. So this girl is the, like I said, she's the flower girl. But yeah, anybody that's actually had the money and time to play Panzer Dragoon Saga that I know of prefer, well, it goes back and forth. Some of them still prefer Final Fantasy VII over that game. Others are like this, Final Fantasy VII isn't as good. But, unfortunately, you can't find the game now without spending about $175 to $200, and that's assuming that you get on a low end, unless you get really lucky and find it at a flea market, or you find it at like any thrift stores. So this is Aerith. Now, there was actually something really funny about her. The gaming community, okay, spoiler alert, Aerith dies towards the end of the first disc. Yeah, it's not that big of a spoiler, but as long as you've heard of the game, you should know that she dies. Okay, so there's actually a small little cult that actually was protested her death and actually demanded that they end up writing the game again where she doesn't die. But yeah, that didn't go. Obviously, that wouldn't do that wouldn't go through. If it did, I'd be shocked. But it's a necessary evil in the game. One of my favorite characters is actually going to show up right now. Unfortunately, actually, I think that's him right there. The guy in black. But, yeah, Reno. Reno was actually one of my favorite characters from this game. It's more of the movie that's why he's one of my favorite characters. Now, if you've ever seen the movie, just think about all this. He's just funny as hell in the movie. He gets his ass whooped. He's got Shinra Dynamite, which is actually one of my favorite scenes, personally. But yeah, he's actually kind of badass for what he does in this game. Hey Reno, you just stepped on. They're all ruined. Yeah, yep. That's always kind of funny. So, let's see. You jump, which that's a pretty amazing jump. Oh yeah, now we got to fight. So, I always either seem to get this right, or I fuck up. Now, one little nice trick in this game, let's say you're gonna back attack, just press the R1, L1 button, and just tap it real quick, and it will automatically switch from being a back attack to you just at a normal battlefield instead of being attacked, or you can attack. So it's kind of nice. Now, the nice thing about Final Fantasy, they end up reusing the sprites. Now, if you don't know what a sprite is, sprites are basically the characters, the enemies. You'll see similar enemies, but they always seem to improve them. A good example would be the bomb. As far back as I can remember, Final Fantasy IV had the bomb. I don't remember on Final Fantasy 1. I never actually played the original Final Fantasy on the NES. I have it now, but I still have yet to play it. Played it just because of it's like I said, it's on the NES. I have 4 of them right now, but I haven't gone through and hold on. If I remember, well, you have to come up here. If memory serves, these were always kind of annoying to walk. I think this was the barrel. Yep. You got the object on this one's to get all 3. To get your barrels right, and just wait till she says something. And you get your occasional battle too while you're up here. But yeah. So I'm pretty sure that bombs were in the original Final Fantasy, but I know one of the biggest cheats in the game that you could end up after you've leveled up normally, you can actually go through and level up ridiculously fast and get overpowered even on the weakest enemies, because it was a kind of a glitch. So yeah, let's see. Hold on. I think this. No, it's gonna be the back one right here. Yep. These ones are always annoying to remember. So I'm impressed that I've actually gotten to where I'm at. But yeah. Okay, here she is. So this last one's kind of obvious. This should do it. Yep. And truthfully, you wouldn't think that it would go through and land perfectly like it did. But yeah, that's still kind of cool. Oh wait, can I push this barrel? Damn. I should have done that quicker. Okay. So now we're walking on the support beam, holding the roof. Now, yeah, there's that. I got a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of RPGs through my whole YouTube career. Now, I want to get to the point to where I can upload multiple videos a day, but at the same time, I still have to work a lot. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not full-time, but I'm working almost full-time. And yeah. And my computer can only render out so fast. So I'll end up having, I'll record 2 to 3 videos, which might only be an hour, but it's going to take 12 to 18 hours to render out, depending on how long the videos are. But yeah, that's just how bad my computer is. Thank God I should be getting a new one, and yeah. I don't know. Eventually, when we get our new place, I want to go through and kind of show off my video game collection. And to be honest, I'm going to tell you this, guys. You can get the games really cheap if you really look around. Unfortunately, I own a lot of sports games for like the Super Nintendo. I don't have any. I only have them just because I have them. I end up going through, and it's like, okay, I'll go through and buy off somebody's complete, well, sometimes somebody's complete collection that they've got out there at the swap meet. I end up finding, when I was at a pawn shop, I'm finding Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, a Dreamcast, and a handful of Dreamcast games. I'm like, I see they've got the Dreamcast asking $100 for it. I'm thinking, what the fuck? $100 for the Dreamcast? Hell no. I had actually bought a Dreamcast earlier that week for like 20 bucks. Like, hell no. Like, if they'd give it to me for like $5, sure, because that's one thing. I told the employee when I was going through and I was buying all the games, it's like, you're never going to get $100 for the Dreamcast. The system itself, I told them it sells for like 25 bucks. I just picked one up earlier this week. That was a while back ago, but yeah. So guys, I'm going to call it an episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, rate, comment, subscribe. YOLO. If you guys were wondering what YOLO means, you only live once. Honestly, I like that saying. I like it because it's one of those things, like, you never always take the chance. You don't want to regret what you did in life. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting move, because I've got a lot to do when I move. Because I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna go through and probably build quite a bit of custom bookcases, because that's where I have almost all my games stored right now. And yeah, I kind of like having custom bookcases that would actually fit what I need and give me a little room to get into there. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed this, please rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Would you go through and pay $100 for a Dreamcast? If somebody says yes, I will give them a shout out. And I'm saying that now, and I'm being honest. Would you really buy a Dreamcast for $100 when you can get them for like 15 to 25 bucks? Okay, guys. Peace.